Hey everyone, we're back for another guide video today. Boys, we're here. Anyways, yes, so you clicked on this video because you want to know how to solo. You're a little boy just starting the game out, and you're like, man, this game is difficult. I don't understand how to do anything. So I'm giving you some tips and tricks. This is actually, you could probably skip this. If you've watched every single one of my guide videos, you could probably skip this one because it will have nothing new, just about nothing new. But this is just kind of a collection of different things I've gotten in all my different guide videos that will help wondrously when it comes to solo questing. So perhaps one of the most important things to do, and something that is incredibly important for the game regardless if you're soloing or not, and that is get yourself a good pet. You can come right over here to the hatching kiosk and find a pet that you want to you want to hatch with. So like I go over here and I go to, like, I don't know, I go to something that's good. I don't know what's good, so I can't really I can't really decide, but you pick something that has good stats, gives good good bonuses, like, not this pet, not this pet. I'm not gonna go through all the pets here and find one that I like, but you'll see it and you'll be like, oh man, that's a good pet. And then you hatch with it, and with that hatch you can create the perfect pet that you can train up that will really help you. I'm actually gonna pause the video and find a pet to hatch with real quick. Alright, so right after a bit of searching, I find this pet right here. It has good stats, and it has proof, defy, dealer, and giver, which is, probably what I want on my pet. So I hatch like this, and then it creates another pet, which ended up being the book pet, which is okay, it's fine. And then, I can train this pet, this little boy up, and he'll probably give me some good talents. Those talents are really useful at lower levels, especially because, having an extra 15% damage or 15% resist is really good early game when things are only doing, like, 100 damage to you, and you're doing, like, 200 damage. It's really useful. So that's the first thing I would like to mention. And the second thing that actually was featured in a video about 2 or 3 days ago, and that's what to train up in regards to spells. You obviously don't want to train a second school because that's stinky and icky. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to come over here to this waterfall, this magical waterfall. You're going to go to night side. And once you're in night side, you were going to train up to faint. Obviously, you can't do this until you're like level 26 or whatever it is. And then you can get faint, right? And faint allows you to beat bosses significantly easier than if you get just about anything else, and it's incredibly useful. The other thing I would like to mention is, or one of the other things I'd like to mention is something that actually requires a friend or a higher level, or just someone to teleport you into places when you have a lot of gold. You're gonna want to come to Celestia, and you're gonna want to get enchants. Enchants are obviously incredibly useful at lower levels because treasure card enchants of monstrous give 175 bonus damage. 175 bonus damage makes, like, for example, Thunder Snake over here, excuse me, go from 105 to 145 to 280 to like 3 something, right? That's incredibly useful because that damage is the equivalent of what about Storm Shark or Lightning Bats or Storm Shark is. Yeah, it's in between Lightning Bats and Storm Shark at rank 1 spell. So obviously you can use Lightning Bats and get up to about 420 damage, right? And that damage is incredibly useful because that damage can allow you to beat mobs significantly easier. Like, you can beat most Crocotopia bosses with only a blade and then an enchanted thing, right? So you're gonna want to come over here to the Archivist, just get someone to teleport you here, go to the treasure card shop, and then monsters. It costs $250 a pop, which is obviously very expensive. That's what, 4 for 1,000, which means if you had 10,000 gold you could get 20 monsters, which is not a lot at all. But obviously if you have like gold, so for example, I could buy 250 right now, which will last me probably from Wizard City to about Marleybone to Mushu, right? And you use these right up to Celestia, and they can be incredibly useful, like, pretty good things to do. Another thing I'd like to mention, and this is perhaps literally the most important thing to do, and that's to stay above what the recommended level is. So for example, Wizard City, at the very end of it, you're expected to be level 10, you should be level 15. At the end of Croctopia, you're expected to be level 20, you should be level 25. At the end of Marleybone, you're expected to be, I think, level 30. You should be, you know, a little bit beyond that. I have it a little bit mixed up there. It's supposed to be like, you're like 20 at the end of Croc normally, and then like 27, 28 at the end of Marleybone. So you want to be like 32 at the end of Marleybone, 25 at the end of Croc. And basically, you can see the theme. You want to be 5 to 10 levels above where the end of your world is, because what that does is it allows for the next world to be significantly easier when soloing. So, for example, my Storm, by the time he left Dragonspire, was level 50. Level 50 is way higher than what the normal level is. You should be, if you don't do any side quests, you'll be level 44 when you exit Dragonspire. And that is confirmed, that's solid, that's what you are every single time if you don't do side quests. So doing side quests is incredibly important, and obviously once you get up to level 44 or level 50 at the end of Dragonspire, basically you want to do Winter Tusk. Winter Tusk is vital to any playthrough that's a solo playthrough, because it takes, Celestia is a hard world, and it takes your character from being, you know, like level 50, not that good damage, to being level 56 to 60, which, you know, obviously at level 60 you get a shit ton of damage with the Waterworks gear. So those are the most important things. Another thing that could be useful is I'm trying to think, like, getting gear that is less aimed towards groups. So for example, when you look up gear guides, a lot of them focus on damage and crit, especially at the later levels. But what you really want to be looking at is the gear that's like balanced gear, where it says like Storm balanced set, because basically what the balanced gear is that's more focused on resistance and damage rather than just damage. So for example, with my boots, I could get something that gives more damage and more resist, right? I could definitely very easily get that, but I won't, because this gives crit and it gives, it's a little bit more balanced, you know? The Waterworks gear is incredibly balanced and incredibly powerful. I can obviously get higher, like for example, the Poseidon gear or the Hades gear gives more, or gives less damage but significantly more crit, but it also gives less resist. So I wouldn't trade out any of this Waterworks gear until level 100, when the gear is actually significantly better. Those are the main things to look for, right? I was obviously looking for a balance of damage, resist, and crit, which is, you know, what I have found. Obviously having 40 resistance with 100 damage and 40% crit is not bad in the slightest, and it kind of allows for a balance. So I hope this video was useful to someone. It's just kind of a collection of all the ideas I've made in the past on different subjects on basically how to solo, because I've done a few solo Let's Plays at this point. So if you want to know how to solo in Wizard101, there's how you do it. You just get through the game like that. You can get through the game incredibly easy up until probably about Azteca. But if you have any other tips or tricks, leave them in the comments section below. I will most likely give, or I will always probably give them a heart and a like, and I will, you know, suggest your ideas to anyone. So if this isn't enough for you, please look in the comments, see if there's anything there. If there is, there might be helpful tips. So if you enjoyed, please drop a like, hit the sub button, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a fantastic day. Thank you all for watching.